So I had these friends that I was seeing, you meet every type of person in Brooklyn. And I showed them this picture, right? And they were like, yo, your art is sort of like the religion Santa Maria. If you've heard of it, Santa Maria, the sacrificial type of religions.
It's sacrifice. I haven't heard of it, but it's human sacrifices?
Not human sacrifice, but things.
Things, okay. So like Lent, will you give up something for
No.
Lent?
Like, we sacrifice something in order to get something.
Okay.
Blood.
Oh, okay.
Like the dark magic type of like, what people consider the voodoo type
like
religions.
Ritualistic sacrifices.
Yes. So, and that's one of the ones from Cuba, right? Cuba, originated Cuba. And
Santa Maria.
Yeah. So I mean, these people are like, Santa Maria. It's like my uncle from our the shaman from excuse me.
Oh no, it's good sound effects for Mike. Make that the intro. Yeah.
He's coming. You should do a reading when he comes around. I'm like, me being like super curious, and I'm like, I want to touch everything. I'm like, yeah. This is stuff. This is the unknown. This is the people that stuff people say get away from. I'm like, yeah. I want to see. So a couple weeks go by. He say, hey, he's in town. Like, he could do the reading for you today. Today would be perfect. I'm like, cool. So I do this reading. And at the time, also, the dope thing about this painting is I finished it and then I got into a show in Lower East Side. So it was like this perfect, like, again, boom, 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 right after the Miami. I'm like, it's like this painting really is resonating. It's hitting crazy. Like, it's time to go, right? So I'm even walking the way that I am. I'm confident but reserved, but it's more like I'm like a volcano, like type thing. I feel like Kevin Garnett or something like that. Like that kind of, right? So I do this reading, and this reading is like, again, really morbid. It's like, it's the things that you would see, and it's like me, I don't cry at things. So I think I realize that's where laughing and crying are so related. I laugh at everything. So when I get in trouble, if someone's like mad at me, like girlfriends would always get mad at me because if it's like I just laugh, but it's not like I'm laughing at you or the situation. It's just like
it's a reaction.
That's my reaction.
That's how you're processing.
Yeah, I always laugh at everything.
Yeah.
So this guy's going like, and I'm just sort of like, what's going on, right? Yeah. But at the same time, it was like this.
Like, are you casting a spell on me?
Yeah,
are you? What's about to happen?
Yeah.
Are you speaking a different language? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, and then, but at the same time, there was like this weird like presence, not like, but it was like something feels a little different. You can't really put your word. Something feels like this is on the realm. But anyway, the reading basically goes like, you need to be careful. You need to watch your blood. You need to be careful, like the way that you're expressing yourself. Something like that. Like you're gonna be the cause of your own demise. Basically, that's what the reading was saying. It was saying something like, you will be the cause of your own demise. And then it was something of the sort. There was something else of the sort of like. It was pretty accurate. Like, hey, you're a really good speaker. That's that's really a lot of your gift to influence people. You could be a teacher, but it's generic.
Like, you're gonna share your gift with the world. Also, you're gonna cause your own death, and you're just like,
yes,
that is something I would and would not like to hear.
Exactly. But then the reason why I was attracted to the religion too is the duality of it. It's like you have to give something in order to get, which you realize, that's what people say, the things you need to do, right? You have to sacrifice in order to get something. So I was like, this actually sort of makes sense. So, and I am, even if I'm a happy-go-lucky person, I do have like mischief in me. I have a lot of mischief in me. My nature is like, I was always the good kid who like, let's say I was always liked. So let's say we're a group of kids, and it's not that I do something to do because I'm bad. It's more like I just do it for my benefit and it's fun.
Yeah.
Like mischief. But then when everyone gets in trouble, I never got in trouble. It would always be like,
because you could put on that front that
I was likable, and it was just like, Arthur, don't do it again type thing.
It's like the way that people, adults are good at being professional when the time comes.
Yeah.
You could put on that front as a good kid when the time came, and you're like, why would I do that? That seems so wrong. I can't. Let me know if you catch the guy who did it. Like,
Exactly. And
yeah, I'll help look for him.
Yeah. But then the person next to me would get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So with that, again, and being sensitive, I was always aware of the situation. So I was always using that to get through life. It helps me through life at the same time. But when I did this reading, it was telling me these things. So I started meditating in the summer where I would go by the water on where like Williamsburg Bridge is. Like, what's that park again? What's it called?
Oh, Domino?
Yeah, but the other side by Bushwick Inlet. It's called Bushwick Inlet, but it's like by Domino.
Park across. Okay.
But basically by the water, I would go there and meditate.
Yeah.
And that was really helpful because it would help me almost like clear out the day. So I was always using it as like a way to like, okay, this is how I'm whatever, right? And after I would meditate, it would almost like the world would open up in the sense that when I'm walking, I would take my time walking, but things wouldn't get in my way. It wouldn't be like people. It's not like the light would sort of work. If it's a really good day in terms of like I'm cleared out, it would be like the light almost synchronizes with the way. Like once I get to the stop, the light works where I can walk, or there's no cars that I can walk past, or no one really walking.
So you felt like the world was opening up for you in a way.
Yeah, I mean, part of it a little bit was doing the some of the psychedelic, messing with. I was doing a lot
mushrooms.
of
LSD, mushrooms.
Yeah. I was doing that at the time too, which obviously opens the world up a lot more.
Microdose or more of a full dose?
Micro. Full, I would do from time to time.
How much? Because I've done microdoses before of truffles, psychedelic truffles, but I've never done a full mushroom regimen. How much were you taking for the microdose?
Microdose would be like a couple grams, like 1 or 2, or even when you take the chocolates or the added.
Isn't that like a half? That's more like a half dose, because a lot of people take 4 grams of mushrooms for a full.
Oh, really?
Like a heroic dose, I believe, is 4 grams of mushrooms.
I mean,
people can take that. So it was more than a microdose, but not a full dose.
It would be like me.
You were feeling it. You were feeling it.
Yeah. But it's like I'm a addictive personality. So when I do something, especially on that side, it's almost like I want to feel more. Drinking the same way. I'm not that drunk. I want to drink more.
Yeah.
I want to drink more. I always want to push things to the farthest level all the time. But beside the fact, I was doing a lot of that microdosing, and then I think that would obviously help a part of my creative juices, right? So I do this reading. I do my meditation. I think the day after. I think right after it, I go to the water, clear. I was walking, but there were certain things in the reading. It was like, watch your blood, but watch your stomach. Watch this area.
That was from the reading.
Yeah, watch
that
your
the Santa
abdomen.
Maria guy.
Yeah,
like
watch your abdomen. So there's nothing very concrete. That's not like it's not super concrete where you feel. I was getting scared because I've never heard something. Usually when you want to go to like you're saying, you want to hear the good things. If you go to a tarot, you want to, or whatever, those kinds of things. If you ever do it, you sort of want to hear like, what's the good outcome? You never hear something that gives like some bad shit's going to happen. Some good shit's going to happen, but bad shit's definitely happening.
Bad shit, I'd rather just get hit by the truck. I don't want to know what day I'm going to get hit by the truck. I just want to be just tell me the good shit, and bad shit, I'll figure it out.
Exactly.
It's going to happen anyway.
And I'm getting scared. I'm freaked out. And he's like, no, don't worry. If you da-da-da-da-da-da, right? So I do this meditation. I'm walking back. It was freaking, like everyone's getting in my way. When I usually just walk on the sidewalk all the way. I sit meditation, but I think the important one is the walking meditation, because I see how distracted or not I get by my environment. So I just almost like walk.
What do you mean? Like visually, or are you paying attention to sounds?
Everything. So it's like my eyes are open and I'm walking, and it's not that I focus too hard on being distracted, but it's like, you know how easily we get distracted. Like, oh, that right there. Oh, look at that girl. Oh, yeah, she's hot.
Thoughts, just I'm meditating. I have to send this email. Oh shit, I'm writing this email in my head. Oh fuck, I'm supposed to be meditating. Oh, now I'm mad at myself for not meditating.
Exactly.
Like this constant stream of
So it's like just
recognizing things.
Yeah, it's just walking, and just letting the thoughts pass through. And it's just like maybe a short walk, a 10-minute, less than a 10-minute walk. But everyone was getting away. There was this guy with his backpack. It was in front of him, covering his thing. And I started like, yo, this shit is real. Then I get a phone call from my family and this really scary health scare situation's happening. Then I remember I'm standing on the corner later that night. I was just walking on Bedford. I would hang out on Bedford a lot from time to time at that time. And it was like this guy. And you know, if sometimes when you're on like a busy street, like random things happen, especially in New York in the city. This dude gets out this car, and you know when someone's looking to do like they're sort of like crazy or whacked out, he gets out the car trying to like, who looks me in the eye so I can do something?
Yeah.
And I'm sort of like the only guy that if I turn and look like, I'm just like freaking out.
Yeah, he's just looking for someone to make eye contact.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
Like, yeah.
So these consecutive small events happen and I'm like freaking out. And of course, the part of that religion, which is, I don't want to say the scam or how they get you, is that you need to get cleansed. You need a cleaning, right? So if you have a good person, I think they do the right normal thing.
That's very influencer of them to be like, this bad shit's going to happen to you. You have to do this juice cleanse that you can only get from us.
And it's not a juice cleanse. It's a different cleanse than that.
What is it?
Sacrificial.
Oh.
So it goes, and cleaning, like they give you like, I guess something. So anyway, he goes like, you got to find your God. So you can pay this much. He goes, you can pay this much. I was like, what's the best option? It was like, you can find your God. All right, you got to pay like $1,000. And I go find this guy. I'm like, what? He's like, or you could do the cleaning for like $100. And I'm like,
yeah,
cleaning. I need to do this.
Good sales strategy. The coming at you with the high mark. Like, look, this is going to cost you $1,000. And you're like, what? That's ridiculous. And he's like, all right. Or you can have this option for 100. And then you're like, 100's good. But if he started out with 100, you would probably say, dude, fuck off. Like, whatever.
Exactly.
So good sales training by the Santa Maria religion. They must have
and religion in general. You know they're crazy salesmen.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
salesmen. Come here. Give me your tithes.
Yeah.
Give me your 10%.
Yeah. It's
supports the church.
Yeah, and it's based on guilt. But I sidetracked you.
So support the priest suit this month, you know?
Yeah. No, Catholicism is all about, being humble and giving things to other people, which is why, I need to wear this robe that's, Saint Laurent and worth $6,500. But I mean, whatever.
So I'm like, all right, let me get this cleaning. So I go get this clean. I'm like, all right, fuck. I'm freaking out for the next couple days. Again, all these other events happening. I go get the cleaning in 2 days. We sacrifice a rooster.
You sacrificed the rooster with the guy? He did it with you?
He did the cleaning. He did that's part of the cleansing.
What did you have to do? Did he hold it down while you just crack its neck or something?
I had to hold it.
So
while he does, he does the whole ritual to pray to the gods to hey, ask for like, hey,
what did
protect
did
him.
you snap its neck or slit its throat? Like, what was the snap?
Both? Yeah.
Neck snap?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
So he's doing a reading, and then it happens, and then he's like, "This is
the cleansing
now."
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna pray to guys to protect. Here's some soap.
Okay.
Use this soap 3 days in a row. I'm like, okay. And then I think it was like go by the water and like clean like sacrifice like fruits or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I think you see in other religions, like more Eastern philosophy, where they do if you've ever looked, sometimes you'll see like some like Oriental type of like they'll have a religion where they just leave like fruits out in some places or in the water or something. So it made sense. I put the connection together, like that is some sort of truth to humans, like this sacrificial type of religions, right? Or there is something there, right? But so I go through this whole cleaning, go through this whole experience. I didn't show the shaman my art, and I show the shaman. I go, oh, by the way, actually, I'm a painter, and the whole reason I did this dude barely spoke English too.
Yeah.
I was like, the whole reason I did this is because they sort of like looked at that painting and said there was like some relation.
Yeah.
He goes, that's HUB. That's one of the gods. that's one of the gods, the god of mischief.
Ah.
And basically, I looked at the painting again and I go, so I wasn't foretelling me like being confident and being this like righteous person.
And this is a Star is Born, right? Same painting.
Yeah,
he looked at that and was like, this is a god in our religion.
Yeah. It's like multiple hundreds of gods, something like that, right? And he was like, it's that. And that's one of the one who opens and closes doors for like your opportunities, but the god of mischief, right? And I was just like, I look at the painting and I'm like, oh wow, so me screaming isn't this righteous feeling of jubilation. It's actually like I said, what could cause my own demise. Me being volcanic and being in the street and being like, I don't give a fuck about your opinion, because that's the type of time I was on when I'm really like expressing myself. I could just be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Straightforward and very passionately, like in the Kanye type of voice where it's interpreted like, yo, what are you, who are, what?
Yeah.
You know, you never know who you're going to say that to on the street, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't care anymore.
So my mind is going towards the business side of things where I'm thinking, you know, what if this guy, his fee is $100 and then he pays someone $50 to be a person in your world or the world where he tells you something about the stomach and then he's a guy walking past you with a backpack clutching his stomach and he paid that guy 50 and then he said, which I would have probably fallen for too, and maybe he didn't do it, but I'm just thinking like, is this guy somehow planting people in my life? This is what I would think if I went to one of those things. Did he pay this guy $20 or whatever? Of course. And he said, I'm gonna have a problem in my leg. And then I see some guy that looks like he's bleeding out of his leg. And I go back to him. I'm like, yo, I'll take the $1,000 option. Like if this stops in my life.
Yeah.
But it was an experience nonetheless. Like it seems like no matter if something spiritual happened or shifted, you had this experience and you have something to talk about.
And it's the connection. It goes all back to the painting, right?
Yeah.
So imagine how I gave the Miami story. This is an experience pretty much happening right after this. So it's sort of correlated. And at the time, like I said, I'm doing them things, right? I'm with the shrooms. So I'm not saying I'm connected to a higher level, but I'm doing it frequently, frequently, right? So it's almost like, not that I'm seeing things, but I feel this deeper connection to the earth and whatever, and what's going on in my life and my path. So, you know, of course, everyone was saying like, why did you question that? I'm like, of course, I'm a very hesitant person. Like I said, I'm intellectually curious. That means I question a lot of things, right? I question the viability, the truth to things. But Zach, I'm telling you, there is of course in the spirit realm, I know that was something I do not want to mess with. Like dark energy, because I create from a place that relates to it to some degree. But that was something that of course, if you have the wrong, because then the guy sort of explained, he's like, yo, you could believe it or not, but I've been doing this for 30, 40 years. And this is what people do in Cuba. This is what you're taught because, you know, we don't have opportunities like we go for a job. So most people end up going into religion and going to these religions. So I've been doing this for 30, 40 years. So I'm like, give or take, you know, I'm like, well, not that I'm not going to dissipate because he's almost telling me his truth and I'm chilling with him. I'm smoking with him. I'm cooling with him too. It's not like this guy's like, coming in and some voodoo. I'm chilling with the dude too, like a normal dude. We're watching that. Everything's normal. And then when he goes to that place, he was doing whatever. So it was like, yo, this is something that I do not, because people would mention it before. You don't play with that voodoo dark magic stuff. Me being African too, even though I grew up Christian, the origins, there's a lot of voodoo over there, right? I was almost to the point where I was like, when I went to Kenya this past winter, that I was trying to seek something, and I had a little bit of an experience where it was just like, okay, I'm never messing with this thing again. This thing is too much. This is too powerful. This is something that you end up with doing the wrong person. not only are they going to scam you, number one,
Yeah.
and make you like keep paying money because they keep scaring, you're going to end up with bad. And then, manifestation is a sort of a thing you think about it already too, right? Like, let's say, hey, I want to do this podcast with this. You say it to yourself every day. You write it in your journal every day. Then you actually put it into action. That's quote unquote the action behind it. But it's one of those things, once you have this preconceived thought in your head too, if you think more negative things will happen.
Yeah, it's
without
like
a
coming
doubt.
from your thoughts. It's self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, exactly.
So, speaking of the not messing with the dark energy, so I went to New Orleans this past Halloween.
Freaky place,
with
I
my
heard.
girlfriend. Very.
I heard that's
there's
freaky.
especially around Halloween time. There's a lot of possession, demonic darkness that's associated with the things that went on in New Orleans, and I'll get into one of them specifically.
Mhm.
And I just released a podcast with my tour guide, Brittany Cherie.
Dope.
She did the Dark History Comedy Walking Tour in New Orleans, where she's a stand-up comedian, but she also incorporates these very dark and horrific events that occurred in houses in New Orleans, like slave experiments, or there were these two brothers that claimed they were vampires and were killing people and stacking bodies in their apartment. This is like 150, 200 years ago. She met a woman who identified as a vampire with a blood donor. This dude that would legitimately like let this woman suck blood from it. Like New Orleans is wild. Like they got darkness down there.
What?
Yeah. Dude, it's go check out Brittany Cherie on the AUXORO podcast.
I don't know if I'm going for Monaco no more than that.
Yeah, dude, it's a dope city. I had an unbelievable time. It was a good time. And so we got to this one part on Brittany's tour where it was the mansion of this woman, Madame Lollery, who she's long dead, but she lived in this mansion in New Orleans.
Mhm.
And she would have slave experiments in her house. She's a white woman, like I assume heiress, old money, and this is when slavery was still going on, and she would perform experiments on the slaves. I'm talking like throwing them in fucking stoves, like mutilation, medical experiments, and there's so much shit that went on in this house that the house was discounted like $2 million or something. Like the value of the house, because no one wanted to buy it, understandably. And so there's this one gallery, which is like a gallery is like a balcony, but the poles go down to the ground. So you could walk under, it's like a balcony you could walk underneath with the poles that go into the sidewalk. And she said that it's very bad luck to walk underneath the gallery of the Madame Lollery house. I've been living here for years. I've never walked under it. I just won't do it. And in my head, I thought, okay, even if I don't believe in the sort of dark energy, whatever's emanating from this house, and I do believe that there's energy that gets left on buildings and walls and things that we may not even be able to perceive. There's energy of experiences. I'm not going to fuck with that. Even if I don't believe it, I'm not going to walk under that gallery. And as soon as she said that, two people from our tour walked underneath the gallery, and we just went like one of them pretended to have a heart attack, and she was like, oh my God. And right before, Brittany said the worst thing you can do is mock a ghost or mock a spirit. And she did both. She walked underneath it with her boyfriend, and then she pretended to have a heart attack. And in my mind, I thought she's dead. I was like, this woman is dead. Even though I don't consider myself someone who believes in those sort of things, in my head I was like, oh, she fucked up. Like,
it's the instinct.
That bitch is gone.
Yeah, it's the instinct.
Why would you even want to fuck with that? Because worst case scenario, like best case scenario, you just walked under a gallery and nothing's gonna happen to you. Worst case scenario, you're now haunted by some demonic spirit for the rest of your life.
Exactly. And that's why even I didn't really get very spiritual like until maybe I started doing the art, because it started to tell me things and speak to me. But in that same sense, even having the instinct to be like, this is powerful. Like this, do not mess. I don't know what's there. I'm just going to do my thing. I'm just going to listen to what they say. When you, not that you're going to die instantly, but man, those things can really haunt you. Like you said, something could happen in their life later on because you never see them again, but something of that sort could stick onto them. You know, who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe they're already even living demented lives or whatever. But me, like, especially with those, I'd be like, I can't see the thing. But when someone speaks about that kind of story, that someone does experiments in the house, it's just like if you had your grandpa who passed away, any family member who passed away, and you go to a place where they used to stay or something, or you have this moment with your family, or some BS, like whatever, and you're like, somebody in the family will say like, oh, they're sort of here right now. Like I can feel them. You don't see anything. You don't really even feel anything. It's
but
stuff
it's
like that.
Some energy, some vibe that you're getting.
Yeah, some little sprinkle, right? When it's dark energy, like the same way that you want things for good luck, those things can mess you up. And I only, when I experienced the Santa Maria, that was like a firsthand experience of like the person who played on the porch, like, oh, let me see what this is. I'm really curious. I don't know if I believe it, but let me see how it is. Everyone's scared of it. It seems intense. I'm an intense person. It was just like, this is a little bit too. Yeah, I could see, not that I was spooked for my own self. It was like, not that it was too much going on, but it was like, yeah, you spook yourself up because they can just, a ghost or whatever, even if you believe it or not, could just throw something at you and it messes your head up. It's not that something bad actually happens to you.
Hey guys, this is a quick reminder to check out AUXORO Premium, the best deal in premium podcasting. On AUXORO Premium, you gain access to bonus episodes, the unlicensed therapy series, the ability to submit topic suggestions for the podcast, exclusive Ask Me Anything episodes, and the entire premium catalog for only $5 per month. Go to auxoro.supercast.com, that's AUXORO.supercast.com, to join the premium gang today.